Shalom to the guys who doing things in the streets that's positive. This video is about this guy who called himself Jeremiah Aliyah Yehuda, okay? And we had a discussion about the 10 tribes going to Arsareth, which is America, but he claims that Arsareth is Africa, okay? And this is what he said to me, you know, as we had a conversation between each other. Africa is a huge continent. Maybe you should visit one day. Then you will realize you don't know Jack. Mingle with the tribes. Talk to the people. The sand can't be everywhere at one time, idiot. Now, the reason why he made his comment is because, well, we're going to forget about that one because I showed him about the Bushmen. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's go. Yeah, this is what I said to him. I Googled this and put this on him, right? The earliest South Africans were the hunter-gatherers, sand bushmen, and the Pastoria Kyokoho Hottentots, which were collectively the Kaosan. Both lived on the southern tip of the continent for thousands of years before written history began with the arrival of the European seafarers. Many people who claim that the tip of Africa is Arsareth, the South Africa is Arsareth. They make the claims. The all 12 tribes are negro idiots who believe that the 10 tribes went to the tip of Africa. They don't have a really good education. If they did, they would know. They would have already knew that Africa, at the tip of Africa, was already inhabited. As a matter of fact, all Africa was really inhabited. Okay, or there are gonna be some places that were not inhabited, but you'll see that it's, men go there to hunt and so forth and so on. Okay, so Africa is not Arsareth. Here is we're gonna go with Arsareth. Okay, as you see, it's the information right here, but it's kind of blurry. But I will go with you with let's see. I will go to 2nd Esdras 13, 40 to 50. This is 41. But they took this counsel among themselves that they will leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. Okay, that is mankind, never dwelt. Okay, never dwelt there before until the 10 tribes went there, and it's not Africa because Africa was already inhabited. This information, okay, is the information I put up here is not really true, okay, because the Kaosan people are not the oldest race on the planet, but they've been in Africa for thousands of years, and the Hamites ruled for a long time, so they ruled Africa, okay, and they controlled all of Africa at one time, and Africa is one of the oldest places people inhabited on the planet, and not just only the Africans, but other races of men like Arabs and so forth and so on, because this planet is a hot sun-based planet, and us humans are really made for nice warm climates. When we wear clothing and all that stuff in cold climate, we out of our environment. Okay, so Africa is one of the oldest places, okay, that mankind has been dwelling. All right, so saying that Arsareth is in Africa or the tip of Africa is wrong because, once again, okay, the Kaosan both lived on the southern tip of the continent for thousands of years before the written history began with the arrival of the European seafarers. Okay, now we have to understand that the white man is one of the youngest race on the planet. Okay, and Israel is the youngest of all. Okay, now we're going to go back to 2 Esdras 13, between 40 and 50. Okay, and we're going to go back to 41. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they will leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. Now, the reason why I follow the men in the camps, because they tell the truth and we have the same education. Okay, all of us who are into the truth supposed to have the same education here. So, we're gonna go back. Let's see. I'm gonna give them an explanation. I'm gonna give let's see. I'm gonna give his explanation why the 10 tribes didn't go to America. That's his explanation, if I can find it. Okay. Okay. Jeremiah Yehudi. Jeremiah Aliyah Yahuda. Okay. As you see right here, this is his reason why the 10 tribes didn't go to Americas. This is his reason. I'm gonna read it because the scriptures made no mention of the Israelites building ships and crossing a large body of water. This is where your camps get caught up in your lies. You add to the words of the Most High, and you will pay a heavy price for it. He is adding words to the Most High because Arsareth is not Africa because it's already been inhabited. And I knew that growing up in the 70s. And I knew the men who are preaching the streets, they knew that. But these guys who claim all 12 tribes are Negroes seem like they don't know that for some reason. They stupid. They really don't go by what the scriptures say. Ships don't have to be mentioned because here's another reason why. We're going to go to Hosea the king. Okay? Because he said the reason why the 10 tribes didn't go to America is because boats were not mentioned. Okay. All right. This is 2 Esdras 40, I think. Okay. Here it is right here. The king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters. Okay. So they came unto another land. Boats are not mentioned here, but he carried them over the water, so most likely he had a ship. But since ships are not mentioned in the Bible, I guess I'm adding words to the Most High here too. So how they took him over the waters? Most likely through a boat. Now let's go a little bit further down. Okay. The 44 of 2 Esdras 1340 to 50. Okay, here's 44. Okay, for the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. So they passed over the flood. They didn't pass over the Euphrates River. Let's see. The trip, the journey is starting at 43 of 2 Esdras 40 through 50. Okay, 43. And they entered the Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. That's when the journey starts. Okay, 44 of 2 Esdras 1340 to 50. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. Once again, for the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood until they were passed over. Okay, this is second Esdras 1340 50. This is 40 of 2 Esdras 1340 50. The king of Assyria led away captives, and he carried them over the waters. So they came to another land. See, he carried them over the waters. Okay, now this is 44 of second Esdras 13, 40, 50. This is 44. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. Okay, they will pass over. They pass over the flood. All right, and this is 45 of second Esdras 13, 40, 50. For through that country there was a great way to go. The journey starts at the Euphrates River, okay? At 45, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsareth. Now, the guys who claim all 12 tribes are Negroes claim that when you go through something, you have to be there already. That is not necessarily true, okay? When we now here, if the word through is kind of blurry, okay, you can see, okay, you can pause it because I ain't gonna keep it up like this. Okay, we're gonna go to two definitions of through. Okay, through, moving in one side and out of the other side of an opening, channel, or location. Okay, that's number one. Okay, now when you read 2nd Esdras 13, 40 to 50, it was a great way to go, namely a year and a half to get to Arsareth, and the journey started at the Euphrates River. I read it. Okay, so we can't use number one because it's not saying going through the land of the Hamites. Africa is the land of the Ham. They ruled that for many years, and as I read, the Chaosian people, okay, they was there for a long time before the European Seafarers written, I read the information. So we're going to go to second definition of through. Continuing in time towards a process or period. Okay? Once again, the second definition of through, continuing in the time towards a completion of a process or period. That's the definition of through is being used. Let's go back. Okay, let's go back. Okay. What I want to do again? Yeah. Okay. For the Most High, this is 44 of 2nd Esdras 13, 40 to 50. 40 through 50. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. 45 of 2nd Esdras 13, 40 and 50. For through that country, okay, there was a great way to go, okay, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Arsareth. It's a great way to go. The journey starts at the Euphrates River. It doesn't take a year and a half to get to Africa. Africa is already inhabited. I knew that since going to school. So forth and so on in the prophets, and everybody should know that. Okay, well, I'm out. This is one part of the teachings. Okay, to show that these guys who claim the all 12 tribes of Israel are Negroes, don't know what they're talking about. Okay, shalom, I'm out.